Hi everyone, how are you? I hope you're all doing well. I have a day. Um, I'm nocturnal as I've shared with y'all. And if you're new to my channel, I am old as shit, and so I don't know how to do the fun things very much. So this is a listening channel, which is great because people listen to it while they sleep, shower, drive, garden, all of the above. Just ask anybody who's been with me from the beginning, right? So you know how some of those videos you really have to watch and make sure you don't miss anything. You don't have to worry about that with me. Just sit down and listen. I'm brewing tea, as you guys can hear in the back. So I'm nocturnal, as I've shared with you from my PTSD from my teenage years, and then being a mom of six, and my three youngest being born in 2 days less than 1 year. The twins were born, and then the next oldest one turned one 2 days later. So I had three preemies, and they had medical complications. My youngest one has cerebral palsy. So sleeping, gave that up a long time ago. So basically, I don't sleep until it gets really light, and then I sleep literally with my curtains open, and as bright as can be, I will sleep in that. I also worked the night shift when I was going to be a nurse long ago and far away, and worked in a hospital on the oncology unit. I really didn't like days because there's so much bureaucracy, and that's when they have their inspections and stuff. So I didn't mind the night. So, with that being said, I didn't get up till around 2ish. And then I went to my physical therapist. And I've been developing some bad habits with my rotator cuff recovery. My surgery was December 15th, so we're 4 months out. I saw my surgeon last week. He said everything looks really good, but he wanted me to do one more month of physical therapy. And so I'm trying to do things, but like opening the doors is really difficult. And those things that you push for the handy door, they don't work half the frickin' time, okay? And people aren't polite anymore, so they won't hold the door because they think that it's going to get them in trouble or whatever. Because some of this whole feminist stuff went too far. I don't mind when a man opens the door for me, holds the door for me, etc. I think that that's nice. It's rude when somebody just goes in and just, gets himself in the door and just runs past. Just the same as I will hold the door for a man or another woman. It's just courtesy. But I don't understand this new world. So my tea is brewing. I'm gonna drink black licorice yogi tea with Trader Joe's Well Rested. I'm gonna do one packet of each in a 12-ounce cup. So I'll be sipping on that while we chat. So it was weird because an offering. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I just got an offering. Oh, peanut butter cup with Reese's milkshake. Huh, that's nice. From McKidlan's that were out. That's nice. I was going to make the tea, so maybe I don't want the tea. Maybe I'll have this instead. Maybe. Let me see. That's good. I've never had one of those for real shakes. Well, anyway, that's yummy. That's really yummy. Maybe I won't have the tea. Maybe I'll have it after we get going. But so anyway, today was really, really beautiful here. It was so weird because I've shared with you I live in Minnesota, and we had a blizzard last week, and then it was 80 frickin' degrees today. I'm not kidding. It went so all of the snow is melting really fast. So of course, it's causing flooding and all of the things. But it was 80, and I hate the heat, and I don't like sunshine in general. I really like the snow and darkness. So I did my best to deal with it. So I made some shorts for you guys to see how funny it is because here we are, 80 degrees. We were hotter than California, and I think they said some parts of Texas and everything today. And here we were, being the coldest, breaking all these records for having snow this late into the year. We definitely usually have St. Patrick's Day snow. Easter snow is a little bit less heard of, but definitely happens. And we're going to get snow again Saturday, so I'm happy. I love my snow. So anyway, I took some shorts, and I'm going to be putting those shorts up. The shorts are the little videos they're like little vignettes, and they have to be under 15 seconds. So if sometimes it doesn't make sense as to why I didn't say much, that's because that's the time limit they give you on those little short ones. And then I did just a few that I wanted to explain things a little bit more. And so those will be there. I kind of like to just kind of share with you guys what I'm doing throughout the day because you guys have all been so wonderful and supportive and just really boosted me up that I think about you guys and I'll be running from one place to another and whatever and I'll see a comment and I can't get to it but I'll definitely think of it and be mindful on it and so thankful of the kind things that you guys say. You guys are just so amazing to me and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the community that we've built here. As you know, I'm kind of a lone creator, not with any of the communities. We are here and we started where we definitely said that we wanted a no twat zone. It was a twat free environment in my channel. And I think that people have done great with that. I mean, we've had a couple that I've had to be like, yeah, you're a twat, get. And that's it. They go away. They're like, yeah, I'm a twat. What do you want me to do about it? And that's it. So, that's why I like to do these little 15 seconders so you guys can just see these things. So then, as I went to my physical therapist, she ranked on my shoulder, told me I'm an idiot and I need to not be an idiot and not be doing the things that I do. And I said, I know I'm an idiot and I need to not do the things that I do. And then we went from there. So then, got some pictures. I went along the river with my son. He loves to just go all over Hell's Half Acre. He's the one with cerebral palsy, so we go out everywhere. So went down by the river a little bit, and I took some pictures of that for y'all. And I've seen more birds out today than I've seen in a year combined. There were ducks. There were hawks. Geese all over. And then this duck couple came last year and came every day. And we have a little, what should be a koi pond, which is just basically looks like witch's brew because it didn't get finished by my child who has all these dreams. All these dreams. So a couple of ducks were like, hey, this looks like a great private pond for us. Do you mind? And I'm like looking at them out the window like, I don't mind. Please make yourself at home. The cats are indoor cats, so they will look at you, inappropriately sometimes. Don't worry about it. They'll never go outside. They don't know what the outside is. They've never been outside. They don't know. They don't know. I mean, Ma Kisses probably was when she was rescued. She was rescued in the abandoned building with her baby daddy. So, I mean, if you could imagine the sight, it was a baby mama and a daddy and six, all Russian blue. So the silver mommy and daddy and six of their babies. And they were rescued by a fireman, and he had to take them in until they had room at the no-kill shelter. So I adopted Big Mama and her special baby. And, or is she special? She's been Scoundrella. That's the one that sleeps on my pillow right now, and like I told you, she's like 3 or 4 pounds and she can kick my entire big fat ass. It's real scary at times. And then her mama just, loves to do the snuggling, but only until she's done. And after the 1000th pet of heavy petting sessions, she decides it's enough and then she'll bite me and it's not pleasant, And then I call her a bitch and it's all over. Just kidding. Oh, my kisses, knock it off, you bitch. Just kidding. And then we've got Boo, and they don't like Boo. I thought they'd like a friend. They don't like him, but, you've seen Boo. He looked like the frickin' Easter Bunny, didn't he? And he eats the Easter grass. We'll have to talk about all the things that Boo has done and why he's not allowed in one particular veterinarian's office. Maybe I've already talked about it. I don't know. That's the thing about having COVID brain and being half senile. I don't know what I've told you already. Every day is a mystery to me. I go in my closet every day and I'm like, wow, I didn't know I had this. Sometimes I buy two. I've told you guys this. I've been like, oh, that's the cutest dress ever. I get home and I'm like going to put it, next to the thing that it should go. And like, wow, I already have one. Well, what am I supposed to do about this? So anyway, do you guys know this man named you say it Villy Velo, I think. And he kind of is, I think they call it necromancing. He was popular in the 90s, I guess, and he was the frontman for a band named Him. And that's where the heart pentagram, the heartogram, kind of came from. Well, yours truly saw him tonight up close and personal. Yeah, he's real. I mean, he's so freaking hot. And they had a band open for them. These girls, they were very pretty girls from Iceland, and they were so cute. And when they talked, they had these little voices, and they're from Iceland. They loved the Minnesota, and they loved that they could come here, and they loved it. Thank you so much. I love them. They were so cute. So I did a lot of little 15-seconders of them and of Billy himself. He sings "When Love and Death Embrace," and it's just freaking amazing. I don't know what else to tell you about that. And then I came home and I was clearing out the fridge for garbage day, and we still had the Easter ham. And so I needed to cut the rest of it up because we had a spiral ham. And, we just don't have all the kids at home eating. And so there's all the leftovers. So I cut it up and I put it in individual packages. So like enough that you would put in a soup to cook down for like lentil soup and navy beans and ham soup. That kind of, the bigger pieces with a lot of flavor in it that you cook down for flavor. I put those in a bag, and then I cut up, the nicer, leaner pieces into small squares to add to like homemade Velveeta mac and cheese, which you guys saw that I made last week. And for omelets. So I did several sandwich bags full of those portions put them in one big gallon bag as the thing. So then I can just grab from that to add into dinners. And then of course I had to have the cat ham pieces because, we all share our food equally here, even with the cats. Sometimes the cats, eat better than us, but that's okay. So, we I did that. I've been up doing that for the last couple of hours. And then what I did is I wanted to make a hash brown bake. And so I took the rest of the ham and onion that I had that was sprouting, and cream cheese, sour cream, garlic, salt and pepper, frozen hash browns, and I shred a bunch of cheese at once and then freeze it in gallon bags. And so I put that in there and then mixed it all up and put it in a casserole thing. And then my husband will put it in the morning at 400 degrees for 30 minutes. And that will be this amazing ham and hash brown casserole. So I did shorts of that so you guys can see how I kind of do the best I can and make things go far. When the kids were little, I made their own baby food and everything. Money was tight. My husband was still in the Navy, and so I I'd wait at the produce stand until all of them left, and they threw out, all the overripe fruit and stuff. And I waited till they drove off. And then I went and I grabbed it all and got it all home, washed it, and then made it all into baby food and smoothies. And then just froze the smoothies. So then, if getting ready to go to Target or wherever, I just grab, 3 sippy cups with smoothies in them, and they'd be drinking. They'd have, their 15 vegetables and fruits a day. It all worked out. Except for the one day they confronted me and told me that food is being saved for pigs. And I'm like, well, I got piglets, so F off. Anyway, the opener for Billy was this Icelandic post-punk and dark wave trio called Kalen Mikla. That's the band name. And like I say, they're just very, very cute little Icelandic girls. So you'll see those. I go to a lot of live music concerts. And so, I don't know. I think it's cool that now you can kind of film and So I'll be putting a lot more shorts up from all my other concerts too. So you guys can just kind of see my ideas and what I do in a day. And I decided it was just too nice of a day to waste on shit shell. I just like, I'm so sick of her, and I'm so sick of YouTube not standing for it. Because, like I say, when my channel was zapped, I went to go and record like always, and my channel was gone. It was like, your channel has been terminated. You are not allowed to go on this and that. It's like, goodbye. I'm like, what? And I reached out to my, buddies, and I was like, what is this? And they were like, I don't know. And they had been, around long enough, and they said that they'd seen other creators get their channel taken down like that too. And a couple people said, this is because, it's this, it's that. This is what they do to bully you. Once you start talking about them, you just have to, plead your case with YouTube. Don't do anything cocky. Don't go to, if it says don't go to your second channel, don't do it. Because then everybody was, not everybody, but other people were like, just open another channel. I'm like, it said I can't. It said I am permabanned. I'm not going to, while I'm waiting for them and I'm in, purgatory with them, I'm not going to, laugh in their face and start another channel and act like, I don't care what they say, because I do. I want to be a responsible creator. And, then about 48 hours later, I went and my channel was back up, and it said, your channel was reinstated. All the accusations or whatever, were unfounded. I didn't have, that was my thing, is I didn't ever have any warnings or anything like that. I didn't know that it could just happen, that you just, all of a sudden you're permabanned. That's what they do, because when they strike your channel, when these, you know, a-holes, twats, all it takes is 3 of them to complain at the same time about one channel. So you see the tragedy pimp standing around, you see them on their phone, pecking and pecking. All they do is they say, okay, they'll go down the comment line, they'll see anybody who's saying anything about them outside protesting, and they'll be like, okay, there you go, there you go, there we go, okay, boom, zap, boom, zap, boom, zap. I was part of a lot of channels that got shut down when they were haunting the Leilani neighborhood. So, anywho, I feel that there should be a civil remedy where YouTube should basically say to the person who is now on what, channel 35, and keeps getting enablers who let her go on their channels. And I don't get it, because isn't the same mod that I showed that was on skis her buddy, the retired nurse practitioner, or is there 2 with the same name that are both mods? I don't get it. I don't get it. That's why I'm glad that I'm all alone, and you know, I know my friends when I need them, and when I do feel like I need mods, I know that I trust people to, to make the calls that I would, because we all trust each other here. So I think that a lot of people are just tired of her. I think that it's done. I mean, the shit show needs to be over. One of the best things that I do, when I'm kind of feeling triggered by looking at her, is this is my go-to book right now. Those of you who started with me in the beginning, I have my big old pile of books. I still can't find a lot of them from college, but I still have quite a few. Now everything's online from my end of my master's program, and I hate that, because I love my books. I love to be able to handle the book, highlight it, etc., etc., fold down the pages, mark them up. That is what I do. And I was embedding the textbook stuff, I really don't like at all. But the way that I'm dealing with Michelle right now is I'm reading this book called Emotional Vampires. And it's by Albert J. Bernstein, PhD. And I read a little bit from it before, and so basically it said that, there's not real vampires, okay? But for the purposes of this discussion, we're taking psychological diagnoses of personality disorders and putting a Halloween costume on them. Okay, so the kinds of personality disorders in the cluster B are your antisocial, your borderline, your histrionic, your narcissistic, your antisocial. To me, Michelle is all of them. It would take a very, very well trained psychiatrist to see her long term sober and observe her behavior to tease out what she has. And I don't think it's a has. I think that there are several hases. Has. She has that, and has that. Because you've got the comorbidity with the substance abuse, and she's an alcoholic. She's obviously got something going on in her brain that isn't right. I mean, that magical thinking where she thinks that she can light a candle and it can cause, a death in somebody else's family who has dared to think negative thoughts about her. That's enough that in the days when they used to have the nut bins for people like her, they would have had the van come with the men with white coats and they would put her in a straitjacket and taken her. That's that magical thinking that could get her locked up and they could say that she has some type of a schizoid disorder. I don't think she is. I think she's an asshole. I think that she has definitely a bipolar disorder. I think that she has definite brain damage from the long term alcoholism and substance abuse disorder. I think that there is definitely a personality disorder or two, or three, four, five cluster. When she comes out and says that she is borderline, and people then defend her, but people are like, oh God, she's such a narcissist. And they're like, no, she's a borderline. And it's like, it's tough because then you have the same people who saw what she was doing when she heard other people say borderline. Whatever she knows that somebody else has, or hears that somebody else is getting attention for, then she has it. Now just watch when she was talking to, well, the other night, well, last night, when she was talking to Jen on the panel. Let's see, I don't think I showed that part, but Jen had shared that she takes care of her adult children, I think, because one of them has PCOS. Watch, Michelle will come up with PCOS. She will totally start saying that she has PCOS. Just watch. Whatever somebody else has, she'll do, and then figure out a way to be the biggest victim about it. The whole toe thing was because she had insulted one of Ski's friends, Julie, and called her fat and ugly and blah, 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 blah. And Julie, went back at her. And Michelle was like, no, look at me. Look how sexy I am. Look at how sexy I am. Look at me. Oh, yeah, I've got tits. Oh, yeah, look at these sexy feet. You got these feet. Oh, yeah, look at the toes. And the whole internet stopped and crashed because they saw Michelle's gargoyle toes. And everybody was like, what the are wrong with your feet? What are those toes? You're calling them toes? And so there was so much focus on the toes being filthy and unkempt that then, oh, what do you know? It's because then she has this thing and she's going to lose it. And, oh, it's because of that. And because of that, because the haters called and she couldn't get her full course of treatment at the hospital, then she's never going to be able to work again. And it's all the haters' fault. Well, she hasn't worked a day in how many years? Okay. I've been told a lot of stories from a lot of people who say that they're close to her. So I know, like you guys do, about this and that and that. And I've tried not to say this and that because I can't prove it and prove it in and out. And I know my own things, of course, from going deep into the backstory of her. And without going too far, because I really, she's said so much that you go and you try to disprove or prove what she says. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to speak on anything that I know too much about because that's, I'm not doing it. But when I said that I was told that she never had an insurance license, that she's never been an insurance adjuster, that it's because her ex went into the insurance industry after he got out of the military, because the end of his military career did not go the way it was supposed to, because he was infected with her, and she started messing with his military career and accusing him of domestic violence. And they don't take kindly to that once you get, and as she, was calling Ski's parole officer, damn well she was one of those ones who was calling the military all the time and saying that he's a domestic abuser and all this stuff. Because you saw she was trying to say and film him and stuff to use against him. So she was probably doing that. She's like,
Yes, I want to talk to his command. Yes, is this his command? Yeah. Well, I think that you should know that, somebody who you have who's supposed to be defending our country. Yeah, he beats up women. He beats up women. And yeah, I'm the woman he is beating up. And yeah, yep, right. I'm a victim of domestic violence. And, I just thought you should know that, somebody who, you think is wearing the uniform, they beat up on women. And I just thought you should know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm all right. I'm all right. I got, a couple broken arms, but I'm all right. Right? Right.
so he got into the insurance thing. So, of course, she's like, let's work together. And then let's go and do adjuster stuff and whatnot. So I don't know how deep he got into it or whatever. I don't want to bring any trouble to his life. But that's where she got the bright idea to do it. Okay. Now, I was told she never worked in it, never had a license in it. So when I put that up there, kind of to feel it out both ways from sideways, because I can't figure it out either way, yes or no. I know that he's in that line of work, but well, let's look at it. Before the tow thing, she said that she was deployed because there was a storm thing and she needed to go and she was going to get deployed and whatever. She was with some old sugar daddy man and fell in the snow. Remember that? Yeah, where was the insurance job? But then, oh, it's that she's still getting her certification and taking classes. It could be that, they have those things and she would know about them because of him, and she'd be like,
Let's go on storm watch together and let's go do storm assessments. We can make all the money. We can make all the money.
So then, as you saw, somebody in the comments said that she has a license and it's set to expire in the fall, and that's out of Nolans. And so my question would be, okay, is it actually her? Because there is another woman, as you guys saw in the comments, and the other woman has quite the long history of similar criminal behavior as she does. But that person may or may not be still incarcerated on her DUI. So it's hard to say whose DUIs are whose, because if you go on the internet and you put her name in, you see it. Okay? She wants to say that she does all this stuff. She's an actress and a stunt double and all that. Look her up. I looked her up to see if she has an IMDb and stuff. No, it does look like she did try to start her own IMDb, because a lot of people probably did what I did when she was saying that. Because, if you have a part in any movie, then you get credit for that. So then when you do that, you see other things too, and you're like, huh. And then, when you cover her, people come to you and they write to you and they tell you, hey, this and that, this and that, this and that. Well, if she had a license, did she ever actually show up to work? And for how long? Because there are very stringent rules and regulations for insurance adjusters, people in that line of work. So I wonder, is anything that she says true? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Um, well, I didn't watch her at all today, but the topic is still there. So the way that when I read the last part of the emotional vampires, we got down to We started with the histrionic vampires and the narcissistic vampires, the OCD vampires and the paranoid vampires. The way that, let's see, let's find a good example. Let's do this one. Okay. So this one explains the way, because like the way that they're using vampires is because they suck up all your energy. They suck your soul out, right? So it's saying here that a histrionic vampire, um, a histrionic vampire spends most of their lives in a hypnotic trance. When they're about, it's almost impossible not to be hypnotized. To understand them and to protect yourself, you must pay close attention to the danger signs. That's what it is, because you start getting caught up in her story. So, if you were to meet her, let's say you're sitting there bored as shit in a waiting room at the doctor's office, and she starts talking about all the places and all the things she does, you might think she's an interesting character. But she's going to wait in the frickin' parking lot until you're done with your doctor's appointment while she's smoking a ciggy and ask if she can follow you to the pharmacy so that she can get some of your pain meds because they didn't give her enough. You know what I mean? That's the way it would be. And it says that they kind of ham it up. Okay, so it's talking about how they ham it up. The ham it up histrionics are the kind of hypnotists who get people to cluck like chickens and enjoy doing it. Hypnosis is a show, and these vampires have instinctive ability to work an audience. Okay, I don't understand it because she's not physically attractive. She's not charming. I mean, she can look pretty. She can look like a pretty lady when she wants to, but not pretty woman. Well, kind of. But I mean, when she wants to, she could be put together and she takes a shower and stuff. So you could see, but I just don't see how the whole drama community is just stopped and given her chance after chance, money after money, dollar after dollar, thousands and thousands of dollars, and tens of thousands of chances and excuses for her behavior. It's absolutely crazy. So it says, they have the instinctive ability to work an audience. That's what she's doing. And it says the alternate reality in that ham it up histrionic is that they offer themselves. They've already lived, they already live in the magical world of show business where everything is bigger and better than life. Well, shit, isn't that band that she was always just following around larger than life? Well, she probably just wanted it so she could get the merch because it described her. She's just larger than life, better than anybody. She couldn't just crowd surf. She had to make her husband lay flat and be lifted up. If he falls, he's gonna break his freaking back. Then she wants to surf his body. So she makes everybody else hold him up, and then she gets on top of him and stands on top. Well, how disruptive would that be? You know what I mean? Like, what the is she doing? I've never been to a live audience. And I mean, I've seen very little crowd surfing because that's not really the type of thing that I've seen. But if they do, it's some like for Ramstein. I love Ramstein. When they came out and they had this inflatable boat, the crowd pushed them back up to the stage. They went from one end to the other, and it was because all eyes are on there. Michelle wanted all eyes on her, and it's like, Jesus, why? She's not special. It's just she's loud and obnoxious, and people are looking at her like, I don't I don't know how she hasn't gotten a knuckle sandwich or two. I'm not kidding you. But it says that they think everything is bigger and better than life, but simpler and easier to understand. Boy meets girl, good guys fight bad guys, knights in shining armor rescue maidens. We all know the stories and love them. Histrionic hypnotists offer the chance to live like that. Ham it up vampires invite you to go on stage and live out their fantasy with them. You can either be a good guy and play along or a spoil sport, bad guy full of criticism and negative vibes. Think about it. When she came into Etienne's life, as I've shown with those things, it's like he wanted to do the things like that you do as an adult. Get up, have breakfast, go out and do some home repair together. Well, she wanted to sit there and party, rock on, yeah, let's go throw cement on each other.
Right? Are we getting divorced over this? Are we getting divorced over cement?
And then when he wouldn't play along, well, then he's the bad guy. And if he doesn't play along and he doesn't, enable her and he says, Michelle, that's enough, like you did, well, then that's abuse. And she thinks that she's going to take that all the way to a judge. You know what I mean? Think about it. So, and that's the thing is if anybody gives her any kind of criticism or negative vibes, what'd she say about the candles? She said that if she lights a candle for somebody and they've had negative thoughts about her, then what do you know? Then somebody near and dear them will be hurt or worse. Well, that's because that's what she thinks. She thinks that anybody who gives her criticism or negative vibes is a bad guy. It's like, no, people are adults and saying, why don't you buck up and act like an adult, you twat? But anyway, it says either way, you're part of the show. That's the thing. She's drawing everybody in to be part of this massive shit show on the YouTube. Like I say, I just want to get back to talking about the things. I want to be talking about the Flight 370, or I want to be talking about all kinds of things that I like to cover. I keep you guys updated for everything new in the Shankella and the Idaho 4. I try, but you know what? Nobody wants to really see those because right now the train wreck is still there. You can have the YouTube streets, and we can all be creators and doing our thing and having the stories that we like to talk about, and our take on stories, and see if you guys see something different or a different perspective from what's in the headlines. Like we say. But what happens when there's a train wreck? Everybody stops and looks at the train wreck. So until they clear this train wreck, named Michelle, we're all just sitting there being part of the freaking show. Right? You know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
So it says historic vampires spend most of their lives in a hypnotic trance. When they're about, it's almost impossible not to be hypnotized. To understand them and to protect yourself, you must pay close attention to those danger signs. So that's where it gets to those danger signs, okay? So Hamming up vampires hope you'll be so enthralled by their performances that you'll relieve them of their tedious day-to-day responsibilities. Okay, that's where I used Shanann Watts as the example before, because that's why she created so many lies about her life and what was really going on, because she couldn't do the normal day-to-day things, the parenting, the hands-on care of the children. Nah, it wasn't her. There are people like that, and they can be responsible and have options. She didn't have the option, and she should have been more present, in my opinion, and not used the money that was supposed to be for the mortgage for all of the MLM vacations that she didn't qualify for. Same thing with Michelle. The day-to-day things of, let's sit down and have breakfast together, it wasn't enough. She had to start drinking early in the morning.
I've just had a few beers. What's the matter? Are you a prude? You don't think that it's okay to have a couple beers? What are you, a priest? What, you think I should be a nun? I don't think anything is wrong with 2 beers.
I'm like, bitch, it's 8 a.m. But anyway, they just can't do the monotonous day-to-day things. They can't, they're not going to be up at midnight cutting up the rest of the ham and making it so that, you have it for the omelets and the soups and everything. They're not that type. I'm happy being that. And with my first marriage, we were young and money was tight, and, I had to work full time with my 3 youngest children, and it's the biggest regret of my life because I didn't get to bond with them in the ways that I would like. After I got a divorce and got remarried and had 3 more children, I was blessed enough to be able to be a stay-at-home mom. Number 1, because we couldn't afford daycare for 3 infants. But to be home and be present, I wish that I could have been home and present with all 6 of my children. If I had my life to live all over again, then that's the best piece of advice I can give any of you. Adjust your budget, do what you have to do. Go to garage sales, mend the socks, make the ham go far. Do what you got to do. Go to the food banks, do what you need to do. They grow up so fast. Be with your children and be present as much as you can. I know that sometimes it feels overwhelming and it feels boring and you just want to frickin' shower or to be able to eat while your food is somewhat still hot. But there will be a time when you will. Just be present. It goes so fast. Oh, gosh. It'll get me sentimental. With my second one, second son, I gave birth and then was only able to stay home for 10 days. And then I had to go back to work full time. And he was 9 pounds, 2 ounces and born face up. So I had one all-purpose hole for a long time. And having to work and stand on my feet really wasn't good for me and probably led to some of the problems that I have right now when I laugh and sneeze. So don't make me laugh. We've talked about this before on my channel. Welcome to my channel. Well, anyway. It says their most common strategy is to hypnotize you into believing that they are too ditzy to take care of things themselves. Who do we know that does that? Both of the people, and then even the first person I did, yeah, they're just like, oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, well, I can't do that. And they play that helpless bullshit. And then it says vampires unconsciously structure the situation so that it seems much easier for you to do the things for them than it is to get them to do the things for themselves. We very much saw that in the film where I showed ETN making the breakfast. I'm sure that he would have liked, for a wife to have gotten up and been making that breakfast, and then he could have went out and done the outside things. She could have tidied up the home, dusted off all the beer bottles on the shelves and stuff, But he had to learn that, that's just too much for her, those mundane things. I mean, look at her trying to cook. She's trying to remember what he showed her how to do. She's never been, Molly maid. She's never known how to clean and cook. She's domestically challenged. And then you see the men in her life having to really pick up the pieces, which there are great fathers, and fathers can do a great job. But both of my husbands have been amazing fathers. That's the best gift I could give to my kids is great fathers. And it sounds like she did that for her children, is that maybe she knows that some, deep down that she's a piece of shit mom, and she, gave them good fathers because they really, picked up. What did the one dad said that what he did his best to care for the kids, so CPS wouldn't take them, but he had to, get back to his job. So they had her mother take the other 2, and he raised his daughter, and then the mom sent the others to boarding school, something like that. But Michelle couldn't be tasked with raising her kids, so she does make a full-time job of criticizing how other people take care of their children now, doesn't she? Just sitting here sipping this for real shake, aren't I? I have to sip the tea in a minute because I was spilling the tea. Sorry, I'm slurping. I'm being real rude. It says, if you find yourself running around madly trying to get someone out of the preposterous messes he or she has stumbled into, that person is either your child or a histrionic vampire or both. There you go. And that's the thing, is that she's got people running around, struggling, trying to straighten her out and make her behave on the internet right now. They have Project Michelle on on the frickin' assembly line, and they are doing their best to control her, and she is, you know, trying to make them think that she's doing her best. And the second they need to go and take a break for themselves to, go and tend to their own family, she goes on Ski's panel. And how does she think that he's going to behave when she's been bragging about talking to his parole officer and whatnot? What does she think he's going to say? That's not the kind of thing that someone's going to forgive you for. Okay, the shake is officially done. Everybody go grab yourself a tea. You want to lick the lid, honey? You want to lick the lid? You want to see if you like it? That good, boo boo? You sleeping? You sleeping, baby? That good? Good, baby? That good, honey? That good? It's honey. That good, baby? Thank you for being a good boy. You're a very good boy for mom. Boo Boo is being very good for us right now. He's not doing anything naughty, which is great. So let's see. The T says, when your inner and outer worlds harmonize, your relationships do too. All right. I think it's great that the Yogi tea has these things on the end of the tea tag because you can't read the tea leaves anymore. So then it's something like that. Okay. Oh no, woken up the boo boo. I thought he'd like to lick the lid of the milkshake, which he did. I have to share all my things with him. He's my spirit animal, literally. He is my everything. Kind of want to dance around with him right now and have that song playing. Yeah, kind of want to do that. We do that later? Huh? Who's that sings that? Gary Allen? Want to be your everything? I don't know. I want to dance around with Boo Boo in the moonlight and do that. Because I'm a crazy cat lady and I love my boo. Anyway, hope y'all got some tea. I'll continue spilling the tea here. So it says here, Histrionics prefer brightly colored emotional impressions to thought. Isn't that true? Instead of just a regular thought, they like brightly colored emotional impressions. Their world is made of mostly superlatives and hyperbole, so it's no wonder that they should elicit the same from you. You either love them or hate them, but you just can't ignore them. Oh, who's a better example of that than Nutshell? And it says the instant report. Histrionics invented love at first sight. If they don't get you with their first impression, they probably won't get you at all. Bam. That's Michelle. That's Michelle. She really has to get people in right away, or she'll just go to the next. She can see somebody who's going to go for her BS or not. I'm sure that worked well in her career as a lady of the night, where they paid her the money to go away. And then it says, seeing the person or situation as special. Histrionic vampires offer a devious and dirty deal. Here they are, attractive, exciting and needy. She's needy. It's easy to imagine that if you take care of a few trifling details for them, well, she trifles, right? She's trifling ass. They will Be so grateful that they'll continue to shower you with attention and love. You might even believe that you can pick up a relationship with a really attractive person at a bargain price just by being a little nicer than all those other meanies. Dream on. Ham it up vampires may be a lot of things, but they are never a bargain. Like all skilled hypnotists, they use your own hidden needs to control you. If you find yourself engaging in pleasant fantasies of rescue and eternal gratitude, wake up and rescue yourself. Okay? I believe that this is what's going on in the frickin' hen parties on old Ski Mask Andy's panel. I mean, he's got the ladies all there. He's the stud of the, I don't know. I don't know how that would. It's just I've never seen so many ladies. It's like a moth to a flame. So he's the flame, and then they're moths. I don't know, but he has a continual stream of the ladies, and the ladies just sit there and give him all the attention and protect him. They protect him, and he likes that. He really does, and he can turn on and off that good good boy and bad boy. But when he's bad, he is very, very bad. I can really see that he seems like a big project that you would think that you could fix him, but he needs a lot, definite medication, and a good therapist, and really, he was supposed to go to anger management. I guess that was one of the conditions of his recent parole, and he's not done that. You can really see where that came from, but they would really need to work on him, because he's pretty disordered with his anger when it gets going. Now it says here, these histrionic vampires, they have a lack of concern with objective information. If people you used to trust tell you that you're being played for a fool, and if you think they're just jealous, hope that God will have mercy on your soul, because the vampire won't. Okay, this is probably where Etienne's mother said, "Don't do this. If you marry her, I do not approve. I will not support this." And, you know, she was right. Confusion. With histrionics, the play's the thing, and you can't not play. Sometimes it's easy to see you're being manipulated, but devilishly difficult to figure out what to do about it. Theater is the secret of histrionic power and vulnerability. If you have to deal with the ham-it-up histrionic, my God, you guys, do you guys see how this all fell into place? I can't. I was just chopping up ham for a freaking hour. I did all these shorts about how to save your ham, and ham soup and all this, and ham omelets. And here I am, and I just randomly picked this page to start in this book. And here I am reading about this ham it up vampire. And I didn't just put it together until right now that this is it. So this is the ham episode. This is all the things ham. This is the ham, the Trainwreck ham. A train full of ham wrecked. How about that? That's what we will title this one. We'll do the ham train. And you guys will not understand it at all. You'll be so think about this. This is 54 minutes in. So you guys will see this title and be like, "What ham drove? What the shit is she talking about now?" And then you guys will probably have gotten it before me, and then you guys will listen to when I finally get it, and I'll be, "Oh, Eureka! I was talking about ham and ham. I'm talking about ham it up. Oh, Jesus, it's the ham train. There we are." Sorry for using the Lord's name in vain. I was just, making sure that he was present in the conversation with me. He is risen. So let me see here. If you have to deal with a hammered up histrionic, your best defense is to write a role for yourself that keeps you at a safe distance. Ooh. Huh. And if you think about, okay, so it says theater is the secret of histrionic power and vulnerability. If you have to deal with the hammered up histrionic, your best defense is to write a role for yourself that keeps you at a safe distance. That is so poignant. Write your role that keeps you at a safe distance. Huh. It says the only way to fight show business is with more show business. So, how do you write yourself in as a safe role if you've already signed the marriage certificate? I mean, these guys, I'm a mom of 5 sons, one daughter. And you see your children do things and you have to pick your battles because you don't want to create a Romeo and Juliet situation ever. You do your best, but you see it. You see them and you're like, oh, I've got to just, shush about it. But how do you keep the safe distance and how do you, when they fall into a relationship and you have to sit there and wait until they see it. You can't tell them it. Just like Etienne's mom couldn't tell him until he saw it. Because these hammered up histrionics, they want to get you in and committed fast. Their thing is seal the deal. They are, the car salesman, the dirty South car salesman. They want to get you in, loop you in, sign that deal, put a pen to paper that day. They don't want you to walk away and think about it. It's the same thing. These women will get you in for that one night stand and boom, and then be telling you that they think they're pregnant right away. I have a crazy ass sister that I haven't talked about much because I'm not fond of her, but she pulls that shit. She is the ultimate couch grouch. I husband sent her up. Have I talked to you about this, guys? When the kids were real little, my husband thought, "Oh, you haven't seen your sister in a long time. Why don't I fly her up as a Christmas gift for you?" He didn't tell me till I already did it. Oh, she laid on the freaking couch. So there's one more kid for me to take care of. She lays on the couch. The back of her hair isn't even growing in, hasn't for the last 20 years because it breaks off because she just lays there on the couch and looks at photo albums of herself. And then wants you to sit there and look at photo albums of herself. Well, she was one of the first women to be fired for sexual harassment in the 90s. A real trailblazer. She does that. She stalks the men. She gives them the crazy eyes. She went and sung a cappella father figure on one man's lawn that was trying to get a restraining order on her and had his window darkeners on the thing. And so then she climbed up onto his deck through the fire escape and had a flasher coat and lingerie in the Wonder Woman theme and sat there and stared at him through the slider door from the fire escape. Yeah, she does this kind of shit. She's got the crazy eyes. We don't talk much. But this is her thing. Every freaking time she'll hook up with a guy. And, it won't even be 45 minutes later. She's like, I can feel my breasts changing. I think I'm pregnant with your child. So then, the next day they, try and move, change their name, change their phone number. Then, she's like, I'm sure I'm carrying your child. And then the one time she had me really convinced that she was pregnant. And I was like, okay, you got to stop smoking. You can't smoke like this and be pregnant. And she's like, I can do whatever I want. I'm like, you can't smoke like that and be pregnant, okay? Not going to do that. I can do whatever I want. Why do you always have to be like this, all judgmental and shit, Tabby? Smoking all the cigarettes. I'm like, okay, all right, great. Maybe you should listen to a freaking doctor, but no. So then, I sent her a bunch of stuff, maternity clothes and all this stuff, sent her a bunch of stuff and called to see, how it all went. She's like, yeah, I peed out the baby yesterday. And I'm like, what? I peed out the baby yesterday. I'm like, you can't pee it out? What are you talking about? I peed it out. I'm like, there's two different holes. What are you talking about, Tabby? You're so judgmental. I peed out the baby, okay? I'm like, okay. Shit, that was like 11 years ago. No child came of it. Apparently, she peed the baby out. But this is how she tries to lock him down right away. She's never been married. She's a spinster. 46 years old. Freaking spinster. Spinster. Because of this horrible behavior of immediately acting pregnant within 4 hours. She used to go through the Burger King parking lot and give blowjobs for cheeseburgers and then put them in her pocket. Put the cheeseburgers in her pocket until she got home to eat them later. That was my sister in high school. The blowjobs for cheeseburgers girl. Anyway, there we go. So, told you there's not one sober branch of my family tree. Writing a safe rule for yourself. In my case, with my sister, I just stayed the fuck away. Writing a safe rule for yourself. The closer you get to ham it up histrionics, the more dangerous they are. If you become their main audience, you'll discover that the price for their performances is extremely high.
I want a cash app. I want that $10. I want that $10. That $10 was made for me. That $10. I want that $10.
This is what it's saying right here in these words in this book. This Berenstein man here, he must have known about
The cash app. If I don't act that way, I don't get the cash apps. And I need the cash apps. I want my $10. Okay, that is my $10. I want that $10. I gotta get the cash apps, okay? I'm gonna collect all my cash apps.
This is what it's talking about. Like it says right here, it says the price for their performance is extremely high.
Cash apps, doses.
Upon complete attention and taking care of their every need. Well, remember the strokes that she had to fake so that she could sit there and be the adult baby for the poor man? Like I say, he's, faced foreign war. Military, a career military man, and he had to take care of her. And she was pretending. She just wanted to lay around and have her freaking diaper changed. Big ass toddler she is. My sister, the couch grouch, has never gotten anybody to actually take care of her. Like I say, they run. Man, run. Let's see here. And then it says, so it goes here. If you become their main audience, you discover that the price for their performance is extremely high. Your complete attention. That's the price that you have to pay. And taking care of their every need. If you let them down even slightly, the script will shift from light comedy to horror. Oh, Michelle. Light comedy to horror. Look at how fast she'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm just I'm here today. I didn't do anything wrong. To,
You fucking cunt. You angry vagina. Your vagina's all dry. You're ugly. You're fat. Yeah. My boobs are nice. Do you want to see my... See my boobies? He's seen my boobies. Do you want to see my boobies? Drop me your email address.
yeah, she does that so that people think they'll get the picture, but all she's wanting is the email address. She doesn't care. She's showing off, as Ski said, her tuna cans and tube socks. If you let them down even slightly, the script will shift from light comedy to horror. That is just so brilliant. I keep highlighting the things in this book because they're just so, that's just, I could just say it over and over. Thank you guys for listening to me saying it over and over. Unappreciated histrionic vampires instantly explode into rage, sadness, or whatever it takes to get a cash app, to regain the center of attention. You never know what you got into them or what hit you. Your best defense is to not get taken in by their performance in the first place. The way to do that is by writing a simple, easily understood role for yourself that puts you outside the sweep of histrionic drama. On the job, the simplest way to protect yourself is to play the role of a boring person who is all work and no fun. When you see a hammered up vampire coming, conspicuously pay attention to the nearest computer screen or spreadsheet. It's kind of like not making eye contact with a panhandler. Think about it. Like when this book was written, let's see here, when was this book written? 2001. Uh-huh. 2001. So his best, example is that panhandler. And like we've said, she'd be on the streets panhandling, and maybe she will in 2 months. But for right now, she's got the cash apps. And so your best thing is to stay off her radar. Because if she doesn't,
I want my $10. I want that $10.
not making eye contact with the panhandler. That is just telling you. I'm just highlighting the shit out of this book. If you talk, stick to business. Turn yourself into one of the extras on the set. Just doing your job, not worthy of notice. Your primitive brain may be screaming, "Notice me," but the rest of you will fare better for not listening. It may take a good deal of effort to stay in character, especially if you're a charming and friendly person yourself. Imagine being one of those stone-faced guards at Buckingham Palace. That's the way you do it. That's the way you handle a Michelle. You just look away, look at you're like you're so. But I was in retail management, and one of my things, when I have to go from one department to the other, if I didn't want to, get pulled into any drama, the old trick of having a stack of papers and walking fast, it works. It works. And then, somebody tries to, well, and they want to sit there and talk forever, and you're like, I've got so much to frickin' do, and if you don't have that stack of papers and you're not walking fast, avoiding eye contact, you'll never get it done. Because those one people, they just love to sit there and just talk, and you're like, I've got a lot to do. I do my work. I do the things. On the example, can you do that? Anyway. Well, I like to stand around and eat grapes these days. Tough to be a manager. Tough to be a manager these days. Because you got to tell them, put your freaking grapes away and pay attention to the customers. You're on commission. You assholes. But anyway, I never will put the grapes away. The grapes are metaphoric for any cracker, cookie, fruit, apple. Not even kidding. These one assholes brought in a big old bucket of chicken, and we're eating a bunch of chicken one night in their department. And I'm like, what smells worse, the chicken or the skunk weed? But I think one led to the other, and they had the munchies. And I'm like, you know what? Just please pay attention to the customers, please, and leave your chicken out of sight. Thank you. I've got the grape eaters on the other side. But anyway, what can you do? What can you do? Now, we're going to get to the juicy part. because this is the part that I really wanted to get to. And it says, illness as theater. Histrionics have a limited amount of energy. The downside of their enthusiasm is a vague feeling of lassitude and general malaise when life gets too complicated. Okay, now this goes back to every one of, so I love Burnt Toast. She's freaking hilarious. And she's created this whole thing for LOL's cows. So, like, LOL cows. like, laugh out loud at these cow ass people. Or LOL cows. So, my thing, I've put people in my crosshair that are animal abusing twat women who lie about being domestically abused. And there's a definite pattern that whenever they're narcissistic, they'll be on their big narcissistic high, they'll be better than ever, and then something happens and they get caught for what they're doing. They get caught. They feign illness every time. Every time. And then, those illnesses, and they'll do them, and their illnesses get them so much attention and money and whatnot. It's what they want. It's part of their cycle. And then, ultimately it'll come out that they don't actually have this illness. They're lying about the illness. So then it goes into the big rage. And then the apology honeymoon period. And then it begins again, and they start being somewhat in their best role. And then it goes. They're on the high again. They get busted. They feign illness. Everybody, doesn't go for them as hard as they were when they were getting ready to bust them for this and that. And it happened. It happened with Lori the bearded dragon dog killing bitch from hell. And any time that, she'd get called out on her thing, she'd start crying and saying that her fibromyalgia was so bad and everything. And, just claiming that she has full disability for her fibromyalgia that hits her every night at 7 o'clock at this one part of her arm. But, didn't seem to affect her when she was going out drunk and throwing fits and doing every other thing and dancing on cruise ships and everything else that she was doing while she was on SSI, oddly enough. And then what happened when Shanann Watts got busted for the large amount of cash that went missing from her job. She got very, very sick and feigned having the lupus, which has been disproven. Nowhere in any of the health reports or anything, and she hadn't seen a doctor for 2 years prior. So even with that third pregnancy, she had not seen a doctor at all she didn't have lupus. It was all a ruse. Oh gosh, the ruse. Look at all the parallels that are happening tonight. And then, as we can tell, Michelle, whenever she's gone too far in an insult, whenever she's been called out, when she can't get, she wants to detract from the truth, wherever it is, then, what do you know? She's in the hospital, going to the ER, etc., etc. They all do it. They all do it. It's a pattern. I mean, I don't know. I think that there needed to be a happy medium between when they used to have the institutions. It used to be that, if a man wanted to have an affair, then, and he could say that his wife was acting crazy and have it put away and then go, on with somebody else. And then, people who were abusing the power, just like what I talked about with my Suboxone journey. That doctor put me on a 5150. I could have been locked up. People abused it, so they got rid of all of the institutions. You see now that there just need to be reform in the institutions because these people need to be locked the fuck up. They shouldn't be out inflicting this on internets. And all of the, people say, look at how many mentally ill people are on the street. They shouldn't be on the street. They should be in shelters. They should have that. So I think that, it needed to be on a continuum, and there needed to be better monitoring. But they shouldn't have just Closed them all. Need to frickin' reopen some of them, I'm telling you. Because here it goes. So the illness is either histrionics have the limited amount of energy. The downside of their enthusiasm is a vague feeling of lassitude and general malaise when life gets too complicated. Trust their vivid imaginations and instinctive flair for the dramatic to turn not feeling like performing into a performance. Ooh. Burned out, hammered up vampires can change their life scripts to medical dramas when they discover how much attention they get for being sick. You can bet that their maladies will be as draining to you as they are to them. Okay? There you go. Now it says sex and medical drama are not the only commodities that hammered up vampires offer. Wherever there's an audience, you'll find them. In the corporate world, they're drawn like moths to a flame by the eldritch cult that holds formless, transcendent enthusiasm to be the ultimate secret of life. They become its high priests and evangelists and motivational speakers. Okay, didn't I just talk about Ski being the flame and all these moths? It's exactly it. He is the male histrionic vampire that we're seeing. And so he's just right in there. I mean, him and Michelle might have been a freaking set of twins in a past life. I don't know. I mean, it says here that because of their enthusiasm, team spirit, and ability to make great presentations, hammered up histrionics can be promoted beyond their level of competence into management. Oh God, here I was talking about when I was in retail management. Management is hard work that requires a good deal of specific communication and attention to detail, neither of which is a particular strength of histrionics. As managers, they often prefer to gloss over the particulars in favor of trying to instill motivation. Okay, so that's why I had to get the hell out of it too. Not only because I fall all the time every day, but it's just that. I mean, and I really was shocked at how many managerial types, they would look like they were normal, they'd be maybe heavy set, blonde, kind of pretty, always daddy's girls, not yet married, maybe 30-ish, had a bunch of girlfriends, but they were just like the mean girls in high school, and they'd sit around, eat the crackers and the grapes, and just love to tell people what to do, but not lead by example. I like to lead by example, and that's kind of my problem, is that I'll do all of the work thinking that people will want to be like me and see that I wouldn't ever ask anybody to do something I wouldn't do. And then I get in trouble for not delegating. You can't ever frickin' win. You know what I mean? And Glee. It says hammed up histrionics usually ridiculously easy to spot. They're right at the center of attention. Look for sexual stereotypes. Listen for jokes, juicy gossip, mindless effervescence, motivational talks, or maybe even heart-rending sobs. If you ask other people about these vampires, you'll hear many different and contradictory stories. That is because they are, each of them, many different and contradictory people. Your goal with hammered up histrionics is to keep from being drawn into their drama. This is difficult. At first, they'll treat you as if you were the most wonderful person on earth. They may compare you with other people who have been mean and cruel and unappreciative, unmotivated, or whatever. Let the fact that their world is filled with good guys and bad guys alert you before you step into their fantasy. If you let them down, you can easily be transferred from one group to the other. Think about it. When Michelle had Penelope bring down her videos, and she thought that her, team of let's make Michelle better wasn't watching, she went to the other side and tried to get, new ones saying that, oh, all the other people are so bad and they bully her and oh, you guys are good and they're bad. And oh, yeah, I just made up with this chick Penelope who had just said these bad things about me and stuff. And yeah, we made up. She said a bunch of shit about my divorce and everything. But we're cool now. We're cool. We had a fight. We're cool. That's what she does. Everything is black and white to her. People are either her best friend or they're the haters. They're the bullies. She's always the victim. If you pass the flattery, you can avoid emotional turmoil later on. Oh, it says if you pass up the flattery. So when somebody's, sitting there trying to kiss up to you and be like, oh, you're really nice. You're not a hater, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, you're a nice person. You want to like be like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever. It's saying here, pass it up. It's not worth the transaction. Some people are very transactional. She's very transactional. She thinks that if she goes on and turns on the computer, starts a channel, you have to pay her to look at her. Well, that might have worked. I don't know, but it would have worked. I mean, she said that she was an escort who never once put out that it was only time for money.
Only time for money. Not once did I ever put out. No, my vagina is really tight and small. No, I never ever once sold my pussy for money. Never once. Nope, the man took me. They traveled all. I went to Paris and Rome. Everywhere. $500 an hour. Time and only. Time. Never for sex. Never.
I don't believe that. And I think that it's really rude to, like I say, there are so many young girls that are, brought into that. And it's very, very, it's a very, very difficult industry. And to put it out there that, that really the escorting is just the time and that, it's just men who aren't going to touch you and they just want to have somebody nice to talk to because they're just lonely widowers. Bullshit. Okay? Bullshit. Such a liar. Liar. So, your best bet is to write yourself a rule that allows you to stand on the sidelines and just watch the show. And I mean, and that's where, some of us have chosen to stand up to the BS and hold the truth so it's here so that it'll save other people from heartache. And some people are watching it from the sidelines. I just am tired of her hurting innocent people. And I think that there's vulnerable brain damaged people involved in this because who else would be giving her money like they are? Avoid the impulse to become a critic because sooner or later that will turn the spotlight on you. Oh no, Confucius just spoke to me. Confucius just said I better shut my mouth and stop being a critic because it's going to turn on me. And you know what? It has. I've gotten some of her flying monkeys and stuff saying some bad things, and it will get worse, and I'm sure that they will strike my channel, and I'll be down for a few days, and you guys just hold tight. I'll be back. I'll fight it. I'm not doing anything wrong, but anybody who speaks up and tells the truth does get shut down. So you guys just, you know what? You guys keep the light on for me, and you guys come back if my channel does get turned down, please. Okay? And you know what is important? You guys, please
subscribe, like, and share. Right? Doses.
Ham it up histrionics are outrageous. If you allow yourself to be outraged, you will be the one who gets drained. That is why I'm sitting here tonight, is that Her behavior is so outrageous that, you can get the best trained psychologist. I am not one. Like I've told you guys, I have 2 bachelor's degrees, one in criminal justice, one in psychology. I'm finishing up my master's in forensic psychology. My college shut down. And so I have to do more classes to be in residency to actually finish it up and blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, I'm closing in on my master's degree in forensic psychology. I am not a clinician. I am in no way, shape, or form a diagnostician. I just have studied a lot and see some characteristics in her that fall into a certain diagnostic criteria. But like I say, it would take somebody. I mean, just think, she's going to go into a psychiatrist's office. She's going to give them the story about SIDS and whatnot. And they're going to say, oh, sorry, you have PTSD. And that's that. They're not going to see the outrageous shit she does. But when I see her doing these things, the outrageousness does drain me. It triggers me. It hurts me to see her getting the drugs that I had to go without, that were meant for people like me in extreme post-surgical pain, and see that she is buying stolen drugs. People are giving her money to go and buy stolen drugs that supposedly this retired nurse practitioner who would damn well know about the problems with drugs on the street, has been giving her money and advice for how long now? What the fuck? I mean, and that's the thing, is to seeing these kinds of people enable her and whatnot. And, oh, now they're doing it under the guise of, oh, they're helping her. No, they're not. They're helping her dig her own grave. What are they going to do? Do they want all this attention because she's going to not wake up one night and they're going to have the last video of her? Is that what they're waiting for? Her behavior is outrageous and it deserves to be called out, because this is a matter of life and death. Like I say, I might be the one who is fighting the hardest for her life right now, because I am not backing down from exposing the truth, because the truth is the only thing that makes her stop. People who think that they've got her all under control right now and they're working full-time on Project Michelle, she's not listening to them at all. She's laughing all the way to the Cash App bank. She's waiting until they get exhausted. She goes and does exactly what she wants to do. Nobody tells her what to do. At the bottom line is that Ski lost a lot of friends and got in a lot of fights and had a lot of drama and stuff because he took her on as his little pet. And look at what she ended up doing to him. She took everything that he said to her in confidence, and she used it against him and gave his phone number and all of that to the parole officer. She has loyalty to nobody. Nobody. If you're involved with a hand-up histrionic, expect to provide a great deal of maintenance for an occasional great performance. Okay, you mods who are over there in Project Make Michelle Behave. Here's this for you. I'm going to read it again. If you're involved with a ham-it-up histrionic, expect to provide a great deal of maintenance for an occasional great performance. Like I said, I'm going to read this again. Where I'm at is if you allow yourself to be outraged, you'll be the one who gets drained. So I'm not allowing myself to be outraged because it is draining to me. So I'm doing my best to put explanations on it. And it says to expect okay. So it says for an occasional, if you're involved with a ham-it-up histrionic, expect to provide a great deal of maintenance for an occasional great performance. If you expect consistency or reciprocity, you will only get a headache, either in the vampire's head or in yours. The effects will be pretty much the same. Histrionic vampires of both sexes invite sexual harassment and sexual harassment suits. Think long and hard before you embark on either of these paths. ham it up vampires sometimes give their greatest performances on the witness stand. Bam! Bam! And that, what she did last night was when she knew that she couldn't fight with that Jen chick. She knew that that chick was a freaking piranha. And so she knew that her MO of just screaming and saying you're fat and ugly and blah 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 wasn't going to work with her. So she started trying the sexual stuff on the chick, on the woman. And I did not know that she's bisexual. But she very much was using that sexy thing on her to divert the argument. She started the sexy thing. Now, I saw the kitchen video dancing. I don't know where that dance would have been appropriate. Again, maybe they threw her the money to make her leave the stage because she says she was an exotic dancer, but then went to escorting. I don't think she was allowed to be a dancer for very long. Especially with those moves. It kind of was like, kind of like how you, like maybe it was the rope the cow, rope the cow, rope the cow, rope the cow, wiggle the jiggly belly, wiggle the jiggly belly, wiggle the jiggly belly. Because her belly's very jiggly. For as skinny as she is, she's got that skinny fat thing because, you know, the drugs and the alcohol. Shit, probably ascites from her liver at this point. Oh, but she's not drinking. Now that she's sober, she's not drinking. She's not drinking. Bullshit. The dance was very odd. I was disturbed by the dancing. Uh, I've seen people like literally just sit there for hours and hours and chat and chat and chat about Michelle, and they chat and they chat in their Discord, and then they chat on their Facebook, and they chat all day about her and all day, and then they give her all the attention, and then they mod for her, and they do that. These people are putting their lives on hold for her. It's absolutely crazy. And she'll never be grateful or thankful. She doesn't have it in her. She's a frickin' empty ass vampire. She has no soul. She's not alive.
Who says?
So with that, maybe I should call this green eggs and ham, Sam. Ham train. Something. Something very hamish. Whoa, this tea is very good. The Trader Joe's well rested has the peppermint and is that peppermint and chamomile in it? I threw the box away, but it's good. Um, I like their plain peppermint, so I'll do peppermint and well rested together too. I like stronger tea. I like my tea to be very strong. Well, with that, I'll let y'all go. I hope you guys have a good ham day. And again, I'll put up the casserole, and remember, you just kind of, if you have bacon, leftover bacon or whatever, just be creative. If you have potatoes, use potatoes. But the main thing is that you can make these casseroles the night before, and then cook them in the morning, or you can have them as a dinner casserole too. We've done that. You can even freeze them. And I was thinking of doing that and doing a double batch and then freezing it too. But the hash brown casseroles are just so good. So I hope you all have a great day. I will talk to you soon, and enjoy the shorts that I put up of Billy Vallow and the casseroles and of the odd spring that we're having. and of the Kaylin Mikla that I will also put up. So the Kaylin Mikla is going to be the blonde girl who's doing kind of the witchy stuff, and she's the one from Iceland. And I'll put a little thing about that. And then Vili Valo is the one who's from Finland, and he used to be in that hymn, and he has that star pentagram. So you'll be seeing those. You guys see my other things I put up. I have a ton from Dawkin. Did you guys notice that Dawkin, he forgot the words to his song, and he started mixing another verse in a song. He was singing Into the Fire, and then he started singing a verse from Breaking the Chains. Did you guys notice that? I have all the things that I catch in these live music things, so they're all there. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share to like-minded individuals. And save for later if you don't have time as the listening. Just catch up when you have time to listen. I'm the listening channel. Okay? Thanks again. Bye-bye.